Sometimes you do the most bizarre thing in history. And when you've done that, you must own it because you want to own your life. And that's what I have to do. And that's what I'm doing today. My name is Roger Burnley. And I've been a coach. I've been so many different things in my life, but I was also a channel, or I received information from Universal Consciousness, which I started in 1989. It was never anything that I thought I was going to do, because being a vocal coach was a fun thing, and I thought I was really great at that. But for the last 6 years, I've been suffering because I couldn't hold on to this bizarre thing that I was doing. I couldn't own it. And I want you to own yourself. What I'm saying is that we each come into the world to do something, to accomplish something. It's something that's within us. We don't know what it's going to become. But then when you discover that you have something that could help so many people and help our world, hiding it doesn't serve anyone, especially me. And that's what's been happening. When I started receiving this information, it frightened me at first because I didn't know why it was coming through. And I couldn't stop it. I had to sit every single day and receive it. But I knew it was guidance, and I proceeded to move through my life, moving through so many difficulties, so many illnesses, so many diseases, everything that you can possibly imagine, and disasters and failures, all those things. That's what went on. And I'm feeling like my life is just doomed. I'm just cursed in some way. You might have felt that way at certain times in your life, but I will tell you that's never the case. It's just that we're being developed in some way that we don't understand. And so is our civilization. And in 2020, when I started receiving this information that was so different, and I knew that it was about each of us coming to understand who we could become and our world, and then I'm told that I was given this information, that was a little challenging to believe, or accept, I would say. Then I discovered that I'm a savant. That didn't make any sense to me. That I had this genius ability in a particular way to receive information that was aligned with the universe, that was aligned with the changes that we all experience. There have been other people who have developed philosophies or techniques or ways of understanding our consciousness. I didn't know that I was going to be one of them. Because the other thing that happened, and this was what I was meant to bring to the world, is to tell every single person that they had worth and value. And that's what I was told in 2021 when it was revealed to me that I had a life-changing philosophy, which made no sense to me, except my life had been changed from everything I had gone through, so that part did make sense. But then I'm told if I were to meet someone, I would have a message I received on their birthday. And I doubted that, but then every time I would meet someone and go through that process, it was there. The messages would work for any person, but for that person, it was always something specific, something they would understand, and that absolutely happened every single time. I've never studied astrology or astronomy or sciences, like none of that stuff. But what it turned out, this information was aligned with the changes in our world, and it was also aligned generationally, meaning it's telling us how we move through generational changes, like what we're moving through in our world now. None of it was accidental. We go through changes of consciousness. That's what happens. And so it becomes incumbent upon each one of us to try to live our best lives and move to the higher state of consciousness that we possibly could. And then we'll recognize that everyone's not going to do that. But if I'm holding back, I'm not helping others accomplish that goal. I started doing something else in 2021, which was channeling. I didn't think I was going to ever do that. And then it was turned out that the information that would come out of my mouth when I was channeling was again aligned with the changes that were happening in our world, energetic changes that I had no idea were coming about. But then artificial intelligence came along, and it verified it. it started showing. So all the events and things that were occurring, especially in the United States, I received all of that information and why it was occurring or what could come about and the challenges we would face and why we might see certain events. All of that came through. And I put this in, I started writing this piece a while ago, and I used some of the messages from 2020 to show you what I mean, because now as people read it, they will see it in our world. I didn't know that was happening, quite honestly. And I suffered for so long because I couldn't own it and get it out there and give it to more people. But that's what I'm doing now, which is why I'm recording this video. I'm putting it on my blog because I want others to read it so you will understand. And I get it. I'd never seen this before, neither have you. There have been many people who have talked about astrology and all of those things and given us this information, but I didn't do any of that. It came intuitively. All I did was sit down and hear the information and write it down. That's what happened. And in that process, I healed. Then I was told that's what the world is looking for, healing for each individual and the world, because it's all of us who are creating it. And if we could move through our limitations and our generational patterns, we would live a great life. But for you, it's about you living the life that you want to have. And this information will have you do that. And for other people who want to make a difference in the world, this work would do that as well. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a person I'm actually introverted, so I didn't go out as some other people and really talk about this or own it. So I'm going to send this to other people who might want to look at this and decide that they want to make a big difference in the world because they'll see this information could do that. If you're a person who's looking at things falling apart that might seem to you, well, this is the solution. And anyone who wants to work with it will decide this is the time to contact me and get involved. But those of you who are ready to live your greatest life, this will do it. Now, I said those words years ago, and many people didn't believe me, but the people who took this work, the small portion of it that I gave them, they know it. And it's happened for them because the internal peace that you want to have and clarity and purpose and all of those things that you want to have in your life, this work will give it to you. That I do know. So please check it out, and I will be changing things because one of the difficulties that I had and I'm experiencing now is I never charged enough money for it. And I was told that for the longest time. However, I needed to prove it first, and now it's been proven. But I want you to see it for yourself. But I will be changing it. But what I'm also going to do is work with more private clients, people who will really want to get in touch with who they are. You may not want to come into an online program. You may not want to do something like that. But then you can work with me privately, and I can guarantee you that I will find your direction, help you find your direction, because what I do is just give you the information to unblock everything. That's all that's ever going on. And you'll understand it soon. There is no person on the planet this wouldn't help. And now it's time for me to help myself, which is what you're supposed to do as well. And that's when we can finally become authentic, when we can finally own who we are and what we came to bring to the world. And at 75 years old, and I still keep getting younger because of this work, I must give it to others. So I wanted others to understand this because I've never been able to explain it until now, until this day, on this 17th of February, which is also a really powerful eclipse. And that's, again, something that I could not have known, but all the information I received, you'll see, was aligned with that. All right, thank you so much for being here. And if you know of anyone else who would be interested, who wants this, who really wants to shift their lives, this is the time, and this is the work that will do it for them. I'll see you soon.